her division. And that's just very important to me to say, this is who you are, this is what you look like, and I'm not going to have you competing with fake things on.
I'm so glad that we're doing this show, because you mothers here in Salina are giving me such a different opinion and impression, because most of us know what we saw on TV.
Right.
You know, with those programs. But you're giving me such a different impression myself of pageants and how it can really enhance, you know, the development and the social skills and such of these young people. So what was your dress like, Contessa? Tell me about your dress that you wore.
Which one?
Now tell me about all your dresses.
Well, my first one was for the beauty competition. It was like Cinderella's dress, but except it was a darker blue and it had flowers on it. And Mom wasn't very happy with it because she had to go through all the layers before I got up on stage to straighten them. And
where did you get that dress?
My mom bought it off of online, on eBay, I think.
Actually, I found it. There's a Facebook group that's a national group. There's several of them actually, of moms that are reselling their pageant gear. And
so this might have been a custom dress.
This was a custom dress, and from the research that I've done, it was actually about a $300 ball gown originally, and we snagged it for about $40.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm a single mom on a limited income, and this just gets really, it's going to be very expensive for us, and so finding thrifty ways, and that gown was just incredible, and all the judges commented that it was the perfect color for her. So I think being in pageants doesn't have to necessarily be super expensive, you just have to be thrifty.
Exactly. So tell me about your other dress. So that was one of them.
My other one was for my Skittles routine, which was for outfit of choice, and I wore a Skittles dress. Like, we just bought a plain old dress from Walmart, and then we glued Skittles wrappers and real Skittles onto the dress. And the judges, I think, seemed to like it because I got pretty good score.
So that was another way of being thrifty, was kind of create your own dress. And again, if that's something the judges appreciated, you know, this is something, you know, mothers can do. What's the benefit as a mother, Crystal, to doing this? What's in it for you?
What's in it for me? I guess just the great big smiles. When I saw Tessa on stage and they were announcing what she won, and especially her medals, I mean, just the honest, innocent, oh my goodness, I can't believe I won that, and, you know, just watching them on stage, because it is very hectic, and, you know, we spent the entire day before pageant running around making sure we had the perfect earrings to match the Skittles dress, and so it was just a lot of fun and a lot of bonding with Tessa, and really a lot of teaching opportunities. We talked a lot about the difference in glitz pageants and natural pageants, and what it means to have self-esteem, and we just really used it as a teaching opportunity with her. And you know, her brother is almost 17, and he came and watched her and was very supportive and helped collect Skittles wrappers and was there helping pick out earrings and was right on. So it was just a whole family experience.
Yeah,
for
real
us.
family time.
Yeah.
Real family time for both of you. Now, did you yourself, Crystal, ever do any of this when you were young?
No. No.
So what got you
absolutely
into
not.
pageants? What kind of had you take a look at this for your daughter?
Well, really it was just by chance. You know, here recently, especially in Salina, Facebook has really taken off with some of those buy-sell trade sites, and I had seen Miranda post something. I had never met her before, and I kind of jumped on the other bandwagon of, I'm not putting my daughter through something like that. That's not. And she said, well, what if it was a pageant that glorified their natural beauty, and every girl won a tiara and every girl won prizes? And I said, you know, and it kind of changed. I kind of had a bit of a paradigm shift with that and said, you know, that would be really awesome. And
So you were kind of opposed to it. Did you message back to her on Facebook and say, I don't believe in this, or how did you contact her?
Well, I commented on her post on one of the, I
right?
commented, and we kind of went back and forth, and it was really kind of weird because she's like, well, if I could find enough people to do this, then we'll do it. Well, I started putting feelers out and got a whole bunch of people interested, and off it went. They scheduled a date and found a place. And so at first I had always said, I mean, I've been told several times, Tessa, you should try to get her into modeling, and you should do this. And I said, those are not the morals and the ethics that I want to teach her, that everything is about looks. I mean, we're bombarded with Hannah Montana and Lindsay Lohan, and, you know, they all look perfect and have perfect hair and perfect teeth, and they're so beautiful. And you turn around and see these girls in the media getting in trouble and doing some crazy things, and So our girls need to be taught so much more than looks will carry them through life, because it won't.
Well, that's such a good mention that you take this opportunity, having your daughter in pageants, to be a teaching moment, a parenting teaching moment. And you talk about the Lindsay Lohan. I have to just throw this out to you that I asked my other two guests earlier about, did you happen to see the young woman, the little contestant that wore the Pretty Woman outfit? The outfit Julia Roberts wore in the movie Pretty Woman, which was actually an outfit for a streetwalker. Did you hear about that?
I heard about it. I did not see that. I'm a little surprised that a mother would dress up their daughter like that. And you know, I've seen some other controversial outfits come off Toddlers and Tiaras. It's not something we watch religiously, just more here lately. But there was one that dressed up in a Lady Gaga outfit, and I honestly didn't see anything wrong with that one. The girl was covered and it was modest and it was funny, and so I think the streetwalker was probably pushing it. I'm not really sure where the mom got the idea for that.
Well, you know, even Miranda and Crystal, who were both in here earlier, had a little different opinion. Miranda was very, you know, objecting to that, and Crystal was a little more, well, you know, you see Halloween costumes that almost are worse than that. So,
yeah. Well, and it's really funny because Crystal and Miranda, their daughters compete in different type pageants, from what I understand talking to them, where Crystal and her daughter are much more into the glitz side of things, and Miranda and her daughter are more natural pageants, and so kind of what we've chosen to do with our competitions.
You're just new to this, but do you see different types of even families or mothers supporting one or the other?
I haven't really found too many people in support of glitz pageants. I think, you know, we're very much still in the Bible Belt, and we're a farming community, and very conservative and modest, and so I think it's hard for those of us to really step back and understand what glitz is about. I think it is a much tougher competition because you are competing against girls that have made themselves perfect with the flappers and the spray tans and the hair, and so I think there's still probably things that girls benefit from that, but for us, we will probably just stay with the natural pageants.
Well, I would have to agree with you, Crystal. I think the natural pageants are more of a natural fit for this area of the Midwest. But we're going to take a little bit of a break here with Crystal and Contessa to come back and talk some more about pageants. You're listening to Joan at the Joan Jerkovich Show, and be sure to go to the video outtakes and podcasts, and also our links to iTunes and the blogging at joanjerkovich.com. We'll be right back on 910 KINA Salina. Goes fast. Is there something you might want to bring to the table for the next ones? We've covered a bit of the bases.
Well, I know they're kind of wanting to promote the CAPS benefit pageant a little bit.
Did a little bit in the first segment.
So that would be really awesome. The other thing I think was really amazing is here recently I saw, I believe her name is Danny Hawkett, she's from Minneapolis. Her daughters competed in this pageant, and I'm not sure what the disability is, but I know one of her daughters is, and I know she made the comment on Facebook, they're trying to put a pageant together for, I don't know what the politically correct term is anymore, but disabled children and challenges, and she just really, I know
what a self-esteem builder to have something like that.
I know she really appreciated her daughter, even though she's, you know, doesn't look like everybody else, and still got to feel like such a princess for the day. And when I saw her post that, that just really touched my heart. So
that's a very good point. So let's kind of jump back in here and go to that. And there was another one I wanted to say.
You need a little drink?
Yeah, we're going to go and talk some more. Be a short 8 minutes.
You could show the medals too.
We sort of held them up
once. Oh, we did?
But
okay.
Yeah, or sort of, yeah.
Well, originally she was going to wear them, and she decided they were too heavy.
They are kind of heavy, but that's pretty nice.
Hurting my neck.
Mean, wow. And you've just started, so you're going to start a collection, I'll bet.
I've already done baton, so I already have, like, trophies and stuff from baton.
From baton competitions.
I did baton for, I think, like 2 or 3 years, and I got a lot of medals. Not necessarily a lot of trophies, but a lot of medals.
Now, as I look at you, do you have your eyeshadow on, or you don't have eyeshadow, but do you have your clear mascara? Are you wearing any makeup or lip gloss today?
No.
Wow.
Just chapstick.
Well, just good old chapstick, huh? You are such a pretty girl. But it's nice to know that, like with the handicapped, are all ages, sizes, looks. You know, it's almost more of a thing about poise and self-esteem. Right. Well, let's get back into this final segment and welcome back, listeners. This is Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show on 910 KINA. We're wrapping up our conversation with our young little pageant contestant. That is with Crystal, her mother, and Contessa. And I'm looking at this pretty little girl, and you want to go on video and look at her. And I said, are you wearing any makeup today? And she said,
No, I am not wearing any makeup.
none of that clear, mascara, and maybe you said a little bit of chapstick. But I want to talk to something about, we were visiting at our break, and I was visiting with Crystal here about, there was a young woman or young girl that entered the last pageant that the Kansas Cuties held was it in November?
November 6th, I think it was.
That had a disability. So let's talk about children with disabilities getting involved in pageants.
Yeah, I know I had seen the mother, and I don't want to mention her name without her permission, obviously, but I'd seen the mother post a comment on Facebook about her daughter that was not necessarily like every other child on the planet, and we have so many children like that in our community and in our world. And for that day, that little girl was able to feel like a princess and get to perform, and she's, got her tiara and her sash, and I think everybody just did so amazing that day. So, having Miranda and Crystal bring this pageant system to our community gave that little girl an opportunity she may never have had otherwise. And I think there's talk of maybe having a pageant just for children with some disabilities or differences in their lives. So I think that's an
what a wonderful
thing.
way to also give them an opportunity to build self-esteem, to teach poise, and again some social skills. So do you see that maybe happening in the future?
I do. I think that she's been talking with Miranda about doing a pageant like that. So I do think it's in the works, and I hope we see something like that soon. And I think Tessa and I would love to help them in whatever way we could with that. And I think not only for that little girl, but what a way to bring them more into our community and teach our children acceptance and, again, another learning opportunity. Like, see, no matter what challenges life presents you, the little girl didn't choose to have the challenges that she has, but she still got up there and strutted her stuff just like everybody else. And so
you're giving us such a different picture. The two of you here are giving us such a different picture of pageants, because what you've again seen more in the media was, cutthroat. You're not going to help them, with a glue stick or come to their aid with a bow or help them with anything. And I think that's something that's just surprising to me, to be honest, because is there a sense of competition with these, even though people do sort of see in these natural pageants to help each other out? Is there still a sense of competition?
Oh, I'm a very competitive person. So, of course,
you're
sitting there on edge. I mean, of course you want your daughter to win the biggest tiara and the biggest sash and the best prizes, but at the same time, you want to do it fairly and you want to do it in the right way. And, Tessa and I had even talked about how many other girls were in her division alone. And she's like, wow, if I was the only girl in my division, I would definitely win. And I said, but Tessa, do you think it's really winning if you don't have anybody to compete against? So, you can be competitive, but you can still have sportsmanlike conduct, just like any other sport, wrestling, basketball, whatever it may be. So it is very competitive, and I think that, what we see on Toddlers and Tiara is there's probably definitely some stage moms, pageant moms out there that are very cutthroat. And
but Crystal, I can see you being one of those. When she's on stage, you're back there coaching and wailing, and aren't you?
I did coach her from the crowd, just a little. We actually did not even prepare her routines until the day before.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't want it over-rehearsed, and we're just very busy too. So
it was a little nerve-wracking for you as well.
It was. I think I was more nervous than she was. I mean, she just had these big smiles, and she just had so much fun.
How about that, Contessa? Was your mom more nervous than you at your